Dear distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning from Frankfurt to all of you in Shanghai. As Managing Director of Frankfurt Main Finance, today I feel very honored and happy to meet so many experts to discuss and share some best practices about how to build a global asset management center. A big thank you to Guotai Junan for your kind invitation. I wished I could have flown to Shanghai to meet all of you in person, because it's definitely the right choice to be there today, to stay on top of matters. I'm looking forward to learn from today's presentation, as there was always much to learn from China's rapid, solid and sustainable development. Please allow me to introduce Frankfurt Main Finance briefly. We were founded in 2008, representing the voice of the German financial industry. We have about 70 members, including the state of Hessen, the cities of Frankfurt and Eschborn, numerous well-known financial market players and their service providers, as well as private and public universities and research institutions. We are also German financial industry key promoter regarding Brexit, green finance, etc. Most recently, that led to the ISSB being located in Frankfurt. More about that later. We are also represented in the board of the World Association of the Global Financial Centers, and we have close relationships with leading financial centers in the world. First and foremost, of course, with Shanghai. Only 2 months ago, Frankfurt Main Finance became the partner of Shanghai Liuqiaozui Financial City Council. As the most important financial centers of our two countries, we agreed to implement cooperation in the fields of asset management, green finance and fintech. Let me now start with a snapshot of the asset management industry. The year 2020 was a test of resilience for the asset management industry, as it was for all sectors of the business world. The result wasn't bad. We find the whole industry is coming out of the crisis in a position of strength. The total value of assets under management reached $103 trillion by the end of 2020, an 11% increase from $93 trillion in 2019. The world's largest asset management region, North America, delivered 12% growth, and Asia Pacific 11%, the Middle East and Africa 12%, and Europe 10%. Since the COVID-19 pandemic in Europe was easing further, European fund industry's positive flow trends continued. The assets under management in the European fund industry rose another almost 20% to 14.3 trillion euro by the end of Q2 21. The majority of those assets were held in equity funds, and that's where we also saw the majority of new inflows. I'm proud to say that the largest European fund market is Germany. According to the European Central Bank, private and institutional investors invested 13.6 trillion euro in investment funds in the EU and the UK by end of 2020, 24% of which are in Germany. And that is increasing at a rate of 8.6%. And such, it's the fastest growing EU market, even before Luxembourg and Italy. In June this year, the German fund industry assets totaled in excess of 4 trillion euro. By the way, 9% of which are sustainable funds. And these sustainable funds are all in accordance with the EU Sustainable Funds Disclosure Regulation, which entered into force only on March 10th this year. Maybe you already know Germany and China share some very similar characteristics. Our people love to save money. Therefore, in Germany, Private investors play an important role in the asset management industry. 28% of the fund assets of private investors in the EU originate from Germany, even more than the 24% of the overall share. In Germany, 50 million private investors in 21 million households invest their money in funds either directly by acquiring shares in mutual funds or indirectly by paying contributions into life insurance or occupational pension schemes. Frankfurt is Germany's absolutely most important location for portfolio management. Almost 60% of all managers are based here, followed by locations Hamburg, Munich and Cologne. That was not always the case in the past. Several cities were competing. Actually, the first asset management institution was found in Munich. It was ADIC. DWS was founded in Hamburg, DK in Düsseldorf, and only Union Investment was located from day one in Frankfurt. Nevertheless, today, all those above-mentioned big names are residing and headquartered in Frankfurt. So why did Frankfurt stand out? Well, of course, ecosystems matter. And ecosystems for asset management industries are dominated by regulation, human resources, infrastructure, labor unit costs, to name but a few. Let me now look at those advantages one by one. First, Frankfurt is a hub for regulatory authorities. It's one of the few cities in the world with both national, regional and global regulatory authorities. It's home to the Bundesbank, the BaFin, the European Central Bank, the European Systemic Risk Board, and also the European Insurance and Occupational Pension Authority, EIOPA. EIOPA is the EU regulator, whose core mission is to supervise insurance and occupational pension sectors in Europe. It protects the rights of policyholders, pension scheme members, and beneficiaries. Last but not least, and I mentioned that early on, just 3 weeks ago, at the COP26 in Glasgow, the IFRS Foundation announced to choose Frankfurt as the seat of the board and the office of the chair for their newly established organization, the International Sustainability Standards Board, ISSB. Second, Frankfurt has world-class universities and research institutions that focus on finance and management. And this offers a constant flow of talent into the job market. According to Boston Consulting survey in 2021, Germany is the fourth most popular work destination in the world, with English proficiency levels as world number 8. To attract highly qualified foreigners from outside the EU to Germany to work, a new German immigration law came into force in March 2020. Under the new rules, with equivalent qualifications, German employers do no longer have to give priority to German or EU nationals anymore. Third, Frankfurt is more than just a financial center. It's a very livable city, and it has a fantastic infrastructure, a fantastic ecosystem. It offers all kinds of infrastructure and services supporting asset management business. To give you an example, Deutsche Börse Group, it's one of the leading international exchange organizations and a very innovative market infrastructure provider with almost 1.5 million trading instruments. Currently, more than 150 trading participants from around the globe are connected via the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. Frankfurt is also accommodating DECIX. What does it stand for? It stands for the Critical Internet Exchange, and the biggest not only in Germany but in all of Europe. Frankfurt is also home to all of the world's famous auditing, law firms, consulting firms, credit rating agencies and IT companies. And most importantly, Frankfurt's financial industry is backed up by a strong economy, to which the financial sector is closely connected. The wider Frankfurt region contributes almost 8% of GDP of Germany, and the region has a cluster that works as a backbone in automotive, chemical, engineering, logistics, and aerospace. Fourth, the German asset management industry is open to technological innovation. The German Fund Location Act, that came into force only in July 1st this year, grants domestic special funds permission to invest up to 20% of the funds they manage in crypto assets, such as Bitcoin. Those funds are open only to institutional investors and not to the general public. At the end of March this year, these special funds stood at over 2 trillion in Germany. New rules that came from the financial watchdog BaFin will enable them to adapt to new opportunities. Last but not least, Germany takes active part in global green standard setting. As I mentioned before, at the COP26 on November the 3rd, 2021, the IFRS announced the formation of the International Sustainability Standards Board, ISSB, a new organization that will develop future standards for global sustainability disclosures for financial markets. And Frankfurt has been chosen as the seat of the board and also host the office of the chair. The development of uniform global standards for sustainability reporting is a logical next step. The decision in favor of Frankfurt underlines the role we are playing. And being chosen as a key location of another global organization proves again that Frankfurt is a city that is very well equipped for delivering administrative support to international institutions and their workforce, including obtaining residence, work permits, finding housing, international schools, kindergartens, etc., etc. When global key asset managers considering opening a new office and relocating their staff, those factors matter. Ladies and gentlemen, asset management business is a core indicator when assessing a financial center's potential. All the global capital will enter savings after consumption, and whoever has the ability to manage global savings will be in the race for global leadership. China and Germany have many things in common. Amongst them are high savings ratios and a young generation that realizes that investment income is important for old age savings. And we also have a changing age pyramid. To tackle this challenge, the new German government at the moment ponders, and it may, and I say may because it's presently only under discussion, introduce a new way to save for the pension, which is called the Aktienrente or share pension. It means that a part of the pay-as-you-go system will in future go into the stock market. The total pension contribution would continue to be around 18.6% of gross wages of each worker. But it will be split 16.6%, which will continue to flow in the pay-as-you-go system, and 2% as a gross pay that would go into the stock market to be invested and to be German people's equity pension. Such pension schemes has not been invented by Germany. Sweden, Norway and the Netherlands have implemented similar schemes a long time ago. We are actually late, and you may benefit by realizing it is better to have it rather sooner than later. I honestly believe it is one of the most important contributions for a common and socially balanced development of the pension system. Looking into the future, as long as global megatrends such as the expanding middle class, the rising number of high net worth individuals, the inclusion of ever more people into the financial system, increased life expectancy, etc., continue to exist, the asset management industry will have huge growth potential. Nevertheless, the industry faces a few challenges, one of which is the pressure on profitability. Active asset managers face increasing pressures with regulation, digitalization, and ongoing customer demands. Competition in the industry by passive vehicles remains fierce. New players are expected to enter the arena with potentially disruptive technologies. Will the winner take it all? The asset management global market is highly concentrated. 63% of global assets under management are managed just by 10% of the largest companies. The economies of scale are substantial. Small and medium-sized companies have to find their niche. So what is my own sustainable growth strategy is a key challenge to all in the industry. Are we playing scalability or specialization? Are we going for cost reduction or for disruption? How do we grow? Organically or through mergers and acquisition? There are many questions the industry needs to answer. But the two certainties, A, ESG, and B, digitalization, are here to stay. We noticed that in May this year, Shanghai government issued the opinions on accelerating the construction of Shanghai Global Asset Management Center. We are very glad to see and support the ambitions and commitment of Shanghai in becoming a world-class asset management center. We are looking forward to more cooperation and exchanges with experts and colleagues in Shanghai. We sincerely hope to welcome all of you to visit Frankfurt in person when the flights reopen. The city is easily accessible via its international airport with non-stop flights to many major cities in China. From Frankfurt you can also arrive at nearly every European capital in just about 2 hours flight. For a fast-pacing industry like asset management, this is another advantage. Thank you very much. I wish the summit and your good selves a great success.